right now that I open up, but the states and the cities, I know 2 of them are in Minneapolis, so I can't wait to see what those are. And then I have one that's also in the state of North Dakota, and then I have another one that's in Phoenix. Those are the ones I can remember. But for the most part, I'm getting the the Midwest. So that's the only part that's really jumping out to me. And what's fallen off is the East Coast sightings for me. Like I usually, like I said, I got one Boston, Montreal, and Pennsylvania, but I'm talking about the state of Pennsylvania and Maryland, and I usually get a lot in that area, and that's definitely trailed off, and it's definitely picked up in the Midwest for sure.
Yeah, and Bob kind of knows the same thing. That's why I was asking you to see if it was kind of that we have the same patterns going on. Also, how about abductions? Have you noticed an increase on that, or even missing time? Because I know a lot of people that have missing time, and maybe they don't realize they were abducted, or maybe they just don't want to come out with it yet. Yeah,
same thing. The same thing. Midwest. Actually, I take that back. There's a little bit that you got the Midwest, and still I'm getting the ones in like upstate Pennsylvania from here, and I'm talking close to the New York and Ohio border up there. And I only say that because I've gotten about 4 missing time cases that I have yet to read, but I know they're about missing time. But the other ones, I'd say it's pretty even for those. Sorry, it's pretty even for the Midwest and the East and for me right now still. But like I said, it looks like stuff's picking up a lot in the Midwest. So I guess we'll see here after tonight, and I open up the rest of those emails. So,
yeah. Now, one other question: on these sightings, what's the most description of the crafts? Are the oval, cigar, round? What do you find coming in on that?
As of right now, it's mostly oval shaped, and then also you have green orbs. Green orbs and oval shaped. Those are the ones I've seen the most of. Is those 2 right there, and it's kind of weird because one's an orb, so but the other one's definitely oval shaped.
Yeah. How about mutilations? Any animal mutilations?
I've only gotten that one that I talked about last week. That was up in Clarion County, and that's it. And I still have yet to hear back on that. I asked him for some photos, and I didn't want to press him too hard, though, because when I first talked to him, he seemed a little skittish, and and rightfully so. So I'll have to hopefully work my magic on that, but I'd love to get some more information on that.
Yeah, definitely. And boy, if you get out and boots on the ground some of these places, we'd like to hear some of those reports too. I know it's a little bit cold out there now, especially I know where you live. It's kind of nasty, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming in. I've noticed spikes all over the place. I was just giving a little news report tonight on the out west, California, Washington. These states, Arizona, they're in the almost 200 sightings, but you go to Nevada, they got like 43.
Exactly.
Well, you have to understand, in Nevada, the reason why people are used to seeing strange aircraft all the time. And you have to realize that in Nevada, there's so many different military bases there. It's crazy. If you start heading off through the desert, going from Reno to Las Vegas, you're going to see a couple Air Force bases. You're going to see a test base. You're going to see where they keep tons and tons of, storing ammo and stuff like that. Bunkers like you wouldn't believe. So, in fact, every time I've ever rode my motorcycle, and got from between Reno and Las Vegas, I seen nothing but fighter jets and all this aircraft, this right and left. So I think it would be a lot harder, for people to tell the difference, especially at night, of a UFO or maybe the government's testing the aircraft. So they're used to it, so that's why they don't get a lot of reports.
Makes sense.
I'd agree with that.
Well, again, why don't you give us your email address one more time, Ryan, for people can contact you. If you've seen something strange like a UFO, or if you've lost time while you were traveling, something weird, lights following you, seen something that just looks out of off-world, well, then you need to get a hold of Ryan, and then we can talk about it on the show. So, Ryan, again, give a plug there for your email.
Alrighty. And just by the way, I always keep your identity safe. I'll never let your identity out. I definitely follow exactly what you guys give me. So it's Ryan Investigator at gmail.com. And like I said on Facebook, you can get at me at Ryan Fusco. That's Fusco. And then also my page is 14 Western Pennsylvania, UFO Encrypted Sightings and Reports.
Well, Ryan, until next week, I want you to have a great weekend and take, precaution if you don't get this flu. It's really funny. A lot of my friends have come down the flu, and then all of a sudden my granddaughter was over here visiting the first part of the week. She didn't tell anybody she was sick. Then my son got sick, and now I'm getting sick, and I think I spread it to a couple of my guests yesterday because they both got sick. A good friend of mine, Tom, who does actually, he's in the band that some of the bumper music we use, Metatron Power and Light, he's down sick with it. So anyway, you have a great weekend, and hopefully your child gets well fast.
Definitely will. I'll make sure I send him to Siberia so I don't get sick. So we'll be good.
That's me. No. Anyway, we'll talk to you later, my friend.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
Okay, you too.
Bye-bye.
Well, James, it's not too far before we have Earl on, and we're going to find out what's going on with MUFON, and we're even going to talk about his mean guitar playing, his singing. 'Cause I'll tell you what, Earl, that song, I've got so many emails in the course of each month we played this song. It's crazy. Seventh Sister by Earl Grey. I tell you, it's just when you play it, you just want it to continue on and on and on. And a lot of the truckers out here, just say, where can I buy it? Where can I buy it? They love it.
Yeah, I love that daggone song too. And I really do love that song. I told Earl the other day, I was talking to him and said, I need to hear that. I need that song. But yeah, it's good.
Oh, yeah. So we're going to talk to him about, what's going on with MUFON and aliens and UFOs and disclosure. It's, it is so strange what's going on. I mean, some parts of the country are now starting to see a decrease in reports, like Ryan mentioned. But, we're past September when it normally drops off. We're now going into January. And it's kind of strange. But then when they are dropping off on the East Coast, now the Midwest is starting to pick up. It's just like, I don't know what it is.
I know it. It's there is some weird patterns in there, and that's what I try to find patterns in all these things with mutilations, sightings, abductions, missing time, whatever it may be, and because that's the evidence. Yeah, I try to go with the evidence and wherever it leads, and it's hard because there's really not much evidence out there, really.
Oh yeah. Well, did you hear another asteroid passed Earth again?
No, I don't know if that was the one I reported on that was supposed to be size of the pyramid coming by.
Oh, that one. No, that one already came and gone.
Okay.
This is another one that came by today. It was 123 feet. It was big enough, they said, if it came through, it would not burn up at 123 feet. And it's big enough it would take out any major city.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I'm surprised I missed that one because it seems like every day or every other day I'm getting a report on different asteroids or comets coming by, coming closer, being discovered. And it's hard to, there's so many reports, sometimes it's hard to discern if I've already reported on it.
Well, you know what? It's because now they're actually looking more than ever for these killer asteroids. And it's scary because, before you maybe heard a couple a month. And now you get on the news, it's almost every day. Oh, another asteroid's coming by. And again, anything a quarter mile in size is going to be, well, if it was even a mile diameter, it slammed into Earth, what it would do is damage the whole Earth. I mean, it just wouldn't take out a big area. It would cause enough effect where the whole world would, be suffering from it. And you know what? It's like going to the casino. One of these days, we're going to, what?
Sure. One of these days, it's going to be a little too close. That's what's going to happen. And sometimes it doesn't even have to hit. It could be so big, it could really do damage to the atmosphere or the ozone. And that's not good either.
Well, that one, the size of the pyramid, if that would have hit, let's say if it would have hit New York, it would have took out the whole New York. It would have been gone. But people in LA would be actually suffering for it because all the debris would be thrown up in the atmosphere. We would go into a night 24/7. You know when Mount St. Helens went years and years ago? I remember it didn't take more than about a day, and for a day or so during it was like daylight. I mean nighttime during the day because it dumped so much ash in the local area that it got really dingy and dark. You felt like you're out at night.
Yeah, because what goes up comes down, and a lot of material goes up, and then eventually comes back down. Some of it's hot, some of it's gaseous, and some of it's big enough to cause damage when the debris comes falling back down. So there's a lot of different scenarios of destruction going on here from all different points of angles.
Well, when Mount Rainier erupted, which it has numerous times in the past, there is some rocks, in Tacoma, which is about, I'd say about 67, 68 miles away from Mount Rainier, depending on what part of Mount Rainier, that were just tossed, just like, and landed in Tacoma, huge boulders. That was from Mount Rainier. So, not just you have to worry about the ash, you got to worry about, like you said, debris going out, which could be big boulders. Then you also have to worry about, depending on the mountain, the mud. That would be, if an eruption ever happened like where I'm at with Mount Rainier, it would take out a big part of the population, not from the explosion, but from the mud would start coming down from the mountain.
Yeah, and some of that people don't realize. Wherever it hits, it could hit, break gas lines in a house or something, and you got fires starting. There's different ways that these things can be very destructive.
Yeah, well, look, a lot of people, I don't worry about it, but look what happened here just recently, last week or this week, that volcano went, that took out all the people on that island. And then, there was one a couple weeks ago that went. So I do think the Earth is starting to, come back alive.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because prior to that, to it erupting, there was 5 people or even more, sightseeing inside that crater. And that's a bad place to be. Yeah, that's a bad place to be.
Well, being on that whole island was because, everybody was on that island died. There was absolutely no survivors.
Right, I remember you saying that. And the thing is, you don't even have to be some of those things, you don't have to be very close because some of the gases alone can kill you within a 10, 15, 20-mile radius.
Oh, yeah. So, are you excited about talking about UFOs again tonight?
I'm always excited, especially when Earl comes on. He's very informative and educational, and he's always got some very, very good stuff that he past, present, and future investigations and events that he's been on and have been reported on. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay. Well, guess what? It's time to go to break. And, we're going to go to break. And then at top of the hour, James is going to be on giving 3 minutes of, Earth Changes news. And then we'll have Earl on. So stay tuned. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio. And also check out our website at www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. That's www.nightdreamstalkradio.com. I will be updating the website again probably tomorrow. We did add a little thing because it's end of the year. If you want to make a small donation to help pay for the bandwidth, you can certainly go on to our website, hit the donate button. It takes you to PayPal. It's totally safe. Make a donation of $1 or $2. Gee, that's like a cup of coffee nowadays. That'll help keep the shows free of all the past shows. And I'll tell you, the bandwidth is really starting to suck like you wouldn't believe. We'll be back in a couple minutes.